Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Nemanja and in today's video I'll be walking you through how to make your own CV from the basics and rules to job interview and some workplace tips that can really help you out. So let's get right into it. Well, since my last video was about student exchanges, I'll be using the Europass website to demonstrate, but honestly, you can use any platform you like. The general rules apply no matter where you build your CV. Here's the website itself, and you should go to create your Europass CV, and then you have three options: to create it from your profile that you have at the Europass already, start from your Europass CV. That is, if you already have an Europass CV, you can upload it here and it will fill the sections in for you. And then there is a third option to create your own CV, create new CV, which is if your first time, you should be clicking this. This is a pop-up because I was trying something. And other than that, here is how it looks. You can choose your language of the CV here, the date format, and then you can fill up your personal information as a first thing. Here are they filled, and this is what they should be consistent of mainly. So your name and surname, your address. Keep in mind this is all mocked information, just so you don't get confused, except name and surname, that's real. Date of birth, which is right here, and then contact information, which is email and a phone number. And at the end, you should be having a good professional photo. Now, there are some rules regarding what a good CV photo is. It should be taken as a headshot, so it's from the shoulders up. You should face the camera directly. No strange angles or filters. It should be plain with a clean background. Make sure it's only you in the photo. Use your most recent picture, and for women additionally, you should go for a natural or everyday makeup look. Now these are some examples of bad CV pictures, and these are some examples of good CV pictures. This is how the section should be looking when you finish it. You can also add this little description of yourself here, or people usually use it to describe better why are they qualified for the job or the position they're applying for. Afterwards, you should go to add new section. There are plenty of sections to choose from. And first, we'll start off with language skills. First thing, of course, you should put your mother tongue. Many people forget to put this here, so don't forget to do that. I'll put my mother tongue, which is Serbian, and there are some other languages. Here you should be putting other languages you know. For example, I put Italian, and here you put the levels of the languages you know. Always be as precise as possible about the language levels you have, because at the end, if you put that you're fluent in a language, it will come out and bite you later during your work time. If you are not certain about your language levels, I made a video about describing the CEFR levels, so you can check it out to make sure which level of languages do you have. If you're not sure, if you're kind of a beginner in the language but don't feel like you are comfortable in using it at all, I'd advise you to not put it at all in the CV. So here are the listening part. I'll just put things randomly. It's mostly listening, reading, speaking. That is lower. Spoken production, I'll put as B1 also, and writing B1. So this is how it should look. You can add more languages if you want. If not, that is also good. Afterwards, you just hit save, and this is how it should be looking like. Other than that, there are more sections that we'll be working on. Our next section will be about education and training, and here you should put start and end dates, name of your school or university, your degree or qualification. If you're still studying, just add expected graduation year. And also when you're listing your trainings and your education, you should be listing them in order from the most recent to the oldest. This is how it should be looking like. There's also this ongoing button that you can use, but it all comes down to preference at the end. It's really not a big of a deal. You can also put your graduation year if you are expected to graduate in a year. That is, I think, more convenient for employers because they'll know when you get your diploma and when you're ready to be more dedicated. to work, right? When you save this, it looks like this, and you can also put your high school here, some other trainings. I also put my exchange university here. Do not put elementary school, do not put, for example, music school, unless music school is relevant to the position you are applying to. Don't put some sports camps, March camps, or summer schools. That is really a bit too specific or not relevant for the position. Our next thing that we will be working on is work experience. And there's this section also, which is work experience. We add the section, and here is how it looks. It consists of occupation, employer, city where we worked, and everything similar to how we framed it for the university. In this section, you should include all paid jobs that lasted at least 1 month. Again, from the newest to the oldest. I'm talking about the order that you'll be sorting these. You should mention job title, company name, dates, and a short description of what you did. This last thing is optional. I like to put it there so employer knows what were my main tasks and duties in my last workplace. And I filled it. Okay, so this again is all imaginary information, just so it makes sense. Here's the occupation, the employer or the company that employed. You have these little information icons everywhere if you're not really sure what you should be putting there. The city, the country, the start date and the end date. You can also see that you're ongoing if you're looking for two jobs or you're applying while you are on another job. And here's a small summary of what your work was, and then we click save, and this is how it looks like. Besides that, there are other sections that we can put. For example, volunteering. Have you volunteered in any youth clubs, Red Cross, NGOs? You can include those here, and you put the same structure as we did for education and work experience. Another important section are certificates and awards. If you ever earned any certification, licenses, or awards, you can add them here. They're a great way to stand out. And you should also sort them from the most recent to the oldest one that you have received. There are also skills that you can put here. There are quite a bit of skills that this site offers to implement into your CV, but keep in mind there are two kinds of skills. There are soft skills, those are things like teamwork, communication, time management, and there are hard skills, which are practical abilities like Excel, Photoshop, foreign languages, etc. My tip is to only include skills that are relevant to the job you're applying for. There's also these other sections that we won't get in depth to. You could look them up, fill them in if you have anything, and it really all comes down to what you are applying for. Then there's this next button. You cannot see it because this recording doesn't catch my screen at this part, but here's the next button, which then gives you an ability to customize your CV even more, with different colors or fonts, sizes, etc. You can do it without the Aeropass logo, and that's basically it. And then after that, you again click next, which you cannot see on the screen, but it's down here, and there you have your own CV. Just to keep in mind, your CV should be maximum of 2 pages. Keep it clean, to the point, and job specific. I would also suggest keeping a master CV with everything, and then customizing a shorter version for each application. You can also use LinkedIn to kind of have this master CV, but in a more productive way. And then from the LinkedIn, implement elements that you find useful for your CV. After that, here you just put the name for the CV, and you download it or save it to your folder, and you're done. You enter it, and it's here. It's on your computer. You can print it, you can send it. Once you've landed the interview, here's how you can ace it. First thing that is really important is body language and confidence. Dress smart casual, not overly professional, but not everyday wear neither. You should stand tall, keep your shoulders relaxed, and hold a good posture. Don't hide your hands, use your natural gestures just so you can seem more convincing and more sincere about what you're talking about. Be honest about your answers and structure them clearly. Regarding the most difficult question, salary question, when you're asked what are your salary expectation, this is the question companies usually use, so they hope that you are aim lower and they would pay you lower than they initially planned to. So it's good to research your salary for your position in the local area. Don't be afraid to ask other employees, maybe at the workplace or outside of that workplace, about their salary and what to expect and what to aim for. Do your homework beforehand. Here's a note: there are some questions that the employer should not be asking. That is nationality, your religion, if you have kids, and your marital status. If these come up, it's okay to say that you prefer to keep these things private. Another interesting thing that your employers will do, so you do not discuss your salary with others, therefore restricting you or others to know about the salary so they can also pay you lower than they should. They will put in your contract that you should not be talking about your salary because that's a private thing between an employee and the employer. There is no constitution in Montenegro, and as far as I know, European countries in general, that denies you the right to talk about your salary. Feel free to talk about it. If you get caught that you're doing it, employers cannot do anything. Now the tips for the workplace. Let's talk about the job when you get it. Here are some workplace rights that are based on Montenegro's constitution because it's similar to the EU, but always make sure this applies within your country if you're not from Montenegro. A standard work week is 40 hours. Anything more than that is considered overtime and is usually paid 50% more. Another thing, you're entitled to at least one free day per week. Then there's also a contract. You always must sign a contract. If your employer delays it, push for it, because if you don't have a contract, it's no protection for you. Your salary also shouldn't be late. If it is, follow up. Some people even stop working until they paid. Although this is really risky, I do not recommend you doing that unless you're very confident into what you're doing. Keep in mind, you do not have to be available 24/7. You're not paid for that in most of the times. If you are paid for that, that's a different story, but don't let job and work intervene in your private life. It's also a nice thing to set your own boundaries, because your job is not your whole life. You have a life outside of work, and some people usually forget that. Keep a healthy work and personal time balance, and let others know that you have boundaries and that they should respect your free time too. It's the little things that can help you in your job hunt. It's your CV, the way you present yourself at the interview, and the way you make boundaries at your workplace. Always remember that you're more than your job. That's the most important message from this video. Thanks so much for watching. If this helped you, leave a like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might find this video useful. Good luck with your applications, and I'll see you in the next video.